Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
Previously on Thrilling Intent, End of Oaths.
I still can't really feel my fingertips.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, we look like crap. Collectively.
I think granola looks pretty good now, though.
Oh, yeah.
In this blood-stained potato sack.
Oh,
that has, like, friend scrawled on it in creepy letters.
Yeah, it's a little terrifying. You return to the city, and everyone sees that, and I'm gonna admit, the main change is granola no longer floofs up. Everyone looks at them, and they're like, fuck? And similarly, granola is also confused now, too. It's like, what is happening with that one?
Oh, check it out. She got a job as a sommelier. It says red rum.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
all right. Well, let's, as we went, was Mercy able to talk to any ASMR and just be like, okay, what is your oath? What is your oath?
Ooh,
and like just to confirm with them.
You were able to gather some information. It seems like the oaths did default to the previous setting almost.
Okay.
Across the board, there is a massive feeling of just dread. Overwhelming dread. It's... the ASMR are scared. It's just straight up, across the board, it felt like someone was holding their lives in his hands. And now that that's gone away, they're acutely aware of the fact that A, that can happen, and B, trusting that everything is fine now is really difficult, actually.
I think Mercy is going to, like, tell each of the ASMR that she meets, like, okay, I understand this is very frightening. I went through the exact same thing as you, actually. I felt the pull of the tower and the change of the oath, and that is not the case now, and that seems to be the case with every ASMR I've spoken with. So please, spread the word. While this is tumultuous time, you are safe, but do keep an eye on your brothers and sisters and siblings. Just double check, but at this point in time, you are fine.
Seek therapy.
That's a good idea.
If you're still
Definitely.
worried, Dr. Gregor can cure you.
Oh, and I guess also we should also reassure everybody that the tower has fallen and that its master is no more.
Yes.
You move through, and returning to the city, you expect a hero's welcome, but mostly everyone's confused. It seems like no one really knows what's happening. The main body of warfare was carried out distant from this location, mostly carried out by the army that you managed to pull from the northern mountains. It seems like, in general, with the ASMR en masse defecting, that little trip up to the north actually carried the war, and it seems like the soldiers are being celebrated back and around the town. Seeing you reapproach, though, they all turn, and soldiers runs forward. General, salute.
Oh, hello, and gives a salute back.
Silverfish, looks down the line. I did my best to organize the forces while you were gone, but, it seems like for the most part, they are loyal primarily to military rank and not tactical advice.
Kier, they don't mean you. Stop saluting.
Kier salutes. This one, looks down the line at Silverfish and then back over to Mercy. Well, actually, During that incident a little while back, we learned the importance of a stratified chain of command. So the ability to operate independently, even when our leaders are indisposed, became pretty crucial. We've been working in units. They all, look over to you, Mercy, just as you instructed us.
Oh, excellent. Marvelous. Thank you so much. And sorry, Silverfish. I wish folks had listened to you a bit more, but I appreciate you stepping up.
Silverfish, puts their hands up. It's like, no. I need to make something abundantly clear. They're the main ones who did the lifting here. I did my best to oversee grand strategy, which was more or less hold the line and pray that we could stall until you guys resolved the situation. Which, hey, credit to me, that worked.
It did. It looks like it worked fabulously. And, thank you all so much for, I know this was a trying time and really let's be real, we were flying by the seat of our pants, but thank you for trusting me and working together. It's deeply appreciated.
They all salute you. Silver's like, well, if this greeting has been resolved, we should get immediately interrupted. Marcus.
Oh? Hey, Dad.
Welcome back.
Thanks, it's good to see you. I go in for an awkward hug.
It's
a solid hug.
it's it's bad.
Bony. It's bony.
Yeah, it's bony. It's like...
Roll
both
for a
ends,
hug.
on both sides. I'll roll for hug.
I'll roll for hug, random.org. Wow.
19.
Oh, wow,
Wow.
Marcus.
Wow.
This hug is so overwhelmingly powerful and loving.
Whoa.
And then
This is
on
new.
your father's end, you're like, but you recognize it's mostly coming from you. Your father rolled a 3.
Oh no. That's
it feels like you've
my
grown
father's
as
never been
person.
a good hugger. I knew to expect this.
He's been bad at many things. This is one of them. So yeah, you go in for the hug and it's just like, yep, pat.
I think it's gonna be okay, Dad. We pulled it off. I think we pulled it off.
Unless all the ASMR die at once.
Which we think is very unlikely.
The towers. We saw the tower
But
fall.
possible.
We saw the tower fall from all the way over here. It's no more. We're safe.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Well, there's still a lot of dust around, but you know,
And
that's
the palace.
not-
Well,
I'm not really sure. There was a lot of matter collapsing there.
yeah, it had a tower dropped on it twice.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I have to wonder what's to become Tannhauser after this. Silverfish is like, that is a discussion that I was hoping to have with all of you, actually.
Yeah, we've had some thoughts in that direction.
We have talked about this a little
seriously?
bit in a bell.
Oh, really?
Like inside a bell flipped upside down, which our new friend here carried. I point to granola.
You motion over to the friend label on the front of the bloody burlap virgin killer sweater.
God.
Silverfish just narrows their eyes and is like, I see. Actually, I don't see. I'm going to act like this is normal, though. Well, shall we go to the meeting hall? We have much to talk about.
Yes. Harlock, I mean, if you don't want to, I don't think anyone's going to
Yeah.
force your hand.
Do you want to just sit tight and zone out for a bit here?
Yeah. Granola. Let's go for a walk.
All right. Well, you two be safe. Yeah.
Tungsten, do you want a seat in the meeting hall?
Or
Okay.
what?
You've got it, bud.
I think I've got something to take care of while you do that whole diplomat thing, as good as I am at diplomating.
You're great.
Thank you.
Oh,
That was a good exchange.
100% seriously. It would be valuable if you came along, but we understand if you have something you need to go down.
do you need assistance with anything, Gregor?
I think I've got it. I just need to check up on some stuff. Gregor stuff.
Well, all right.
Okay.
You know, backstory and all that.
Of course.
Oh, do you want to do backstory alone?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we can come with
don't-
you.
Listen,
The meeting
if-
can wait. Fuck the meeting.
Yeah, seriously,
Sorry,
if you're gonna go
Silverfish.
off and do, backstory, that's not something you do alone, because then,
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is setup, if anything.
Oh, okay,
right. Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
All right, but it better be some great foreshadowing.
And you better clue us in so we can act on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
make
need to be able to respond to it when I see it later.
But still have a surprise.
And leave some juicy breadcrumbs in your wake, okay?
Oh boy.
Maybe bring up something from the past.
We need context, but it has to be there has to be some potential for misinterpretation, so that in light of future events will still surprise us, but make perfect sense in retrospect.
And it's all gotta, and it's all really gotta still be organic.
Don't worry.
And
I will absolutely live up to your expectations.
All right. And dear, just so you know, there is a lovely little cliffside that looks out into the ocean, so if you need to look whimsically at the sunset, that's a great spot.
Ooh, that's good advice.
That's not exactly something I do.
Okay, because, like, I've gone there and, like, held a pendant and been like, mother, and, like, things like that.
Whoa. Oh, man, I want to hear more about that at some point.
Oh, no, I was just like, oh, she's being a bitch to me, and I threw it in the ocean.
Silverfish claps.
man.
Oh, fuck yes. And Ian over in the corner is like, looks over to you, Marcus. Marcus?
Yep.
Suddenly so much about you and the place that you come from makes so much sense to me. Like,
It does?
like it all clicked for me suddenly.
Oh, Ian, were you not aware? Theater is a mandatory class before math.
No, it's a big deal. It's actually it's like rooted in history. At one point, you know, some like 100, 200 years ago, there was some ruler who like put in this massive bequest to fund the theatrical arts, and it became like this whole required thing. It's like it's a whole thing.
And Ian's just like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, up to a certain point, it's like, oh, Harlock, where are you from? Oh, Free Arc, yeah, no, that clicks instantly. And I was looking for the common thread that united everybody I know from Tannhauser, and yeah, I just found it. Here it is. Senior Valafi's like, I haven't the faintest clue what you're talking about. Anyway, I've been practicing my forbidden art, the dark scouring, in the meantime. If any of you have any disruptions with your clothing or otherwise, I noticed that burlap sack was covered in bloodstains. I can remove it with a whim. And Ian's like, yep.
Dad, I think those might be
like this.
Granola's aesthetic. Okay?
It's a
So
choice.
Just be cool.
Good luck with your backstory, Gregor.
You got this.
I'm very excited for, like, in 30 episodes.
That's optimistic.
5
30
years.
episodes.
I think the phrase you're looking for is, cool lie.
Harlock,
Mm.
you've gone for your walk, right? And
Yeah.
in doing so, you've climbed into a boat and you are neutrally brooding in the back of it. And meanwhile, in order to buy time or perhaps stall, Granola's just pushing the boat and you're doing donuts in the, in the harbor outside.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
what are
I
your
call a
feelings
walk.
on this?
So Harlock, who doesn't like talking, is coming to the realization that she also doesn't particularly like being alone.
No.
So Granola's kind of the perfect partner in that she's somebody that will be there, but also not talk. So she actually feels like she's come through. It's like it's a very like scientific breakthrough moment.
You wheel around.
Finally, I've invented non-talking friend.
You wheel around in a complete circle, and eventually Granola just comes to a halt. Seems lost in thought.
Oh, is something wrong, Granola?
How curious are you, genuinely?
Regular amount.
Regular amount curious.
Mm-hmm.
Granola
one
just
curious.
pauses, the boat's skidding to a halt somehow. They seem to be lost in thought, and, you get the feeling at this exact moment they're getting kind of frustrated at their inability to communicate.
Harlock is Gendo posing as she overlooks.
As she lives her life.
Yeah. You seem frustrated. Is that correct?
Stops. Nods. Looks around.
Is it your inability to communicate which makes you a perfect partner for this trip for me?
Yes, like a baby.
They internalize perfect partner, and they're like, very good. And then they look over to a cliff, look back to you, look over to a cliff, take off, fly in this direction.
Wait, and then I grappling hook her leg so I can tag along.
You watch as Granola dives into the water like a fucking dolphin, and
That's gonna be bad for me.
You slide into the water and you're dragged through, and 5 minutes later, Granola's reemerged and has a locket.
Huh.
Oh. Do you want to have an angsty moment? I'm good at those.
Do you want to have an angsty moment?
Yeah, hold on. She gets out of the boat and then goes onto the dock.
No.
Here, stand next to me.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. So we can really choose what we want to do here. If we're sitting here kicking our legs off of the dock, then we're kind of going to have like a summer memories moment. However, you seem to want to have an angsty moment, so you should grasp the locket firmly in your right hand and overlook the sea.
Grasp it firmly.
Looks over the sea.
Now, consider your intention.
That's a big thing to ask for.
Yeah. Hey, is this pier rated for Granola's weight?
No, God, no. It's pitching to the side. It's dangerous. They're pondering their own intention. I'm throwing d20s at this. They got a 20 on finding a locket. Okay, they're puzzled by this.
Well,
They look over at you. What's your intention?
my intention is to continue to grow.
They look down at the locket. They briefly consider eating it. They're like, "This will make me grow?" ?
You don't have a mouth.
They press the locket into the side of their face.
If you would like to find a way to communicate, I can find a way to facilitate that for you. It might take some time.
They nod.
But because you've provided me with an adequate reason to not go to a diplomatic meeting, I can do this for you.
They offer you the locket.
Oh. I need to decide if I feel something.
Is anybody gonna open this fucking locket? Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see what's in the locket.
You pop the locket open. It's a picture
Mercy's
of Mercy's mom. They couldn't get the idea of Mercy throwing a locket into the water out of their head, and they started searching, rolled a crit 20, got the locket, and was like, "What do I do with this now?"
Holy shit.
I wish I had a locket of my mom. I will use this as such. And Harlock she got a crit on feeling.
Wow.
So you're holding on to a picture of Mercy's mom and pretending it's your mom.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Normally people would be like, "Wow, Harlock, that's weird." This one next to you is like, "Wow, what an important and significant gift. Nothing is strange about this."
And then Harlock is going to motion that we should transition to sitting on the dock with our legs kicking into the water for a summer memory.
You sit and you have a summer memories moment.
Birds fly by overhead.
Elsewhere, on the other side of town, Gregor, you move away from the church. For the most part, the clergy here seems to be in the same level of disarray as absolutely everyone else. It's a confusing time, after all, and they made a promise to communicate with the higher-ups as soon as physically possible. It seems like this method of inquiry has reached its natural conclusion, but you're happy to have pursued it just the same. You head down an alleyway on your way over to the center of town, the Great Meeting Hall. As you step forward, moving down the alleyway, a figure almost separates itself from the darkness, and in a moment, you are found face to face with another individual.
Comes walking down this way. He's just scribbling something in his little notebook and looks over to the alley, goes back to scribbling, then kind of does a quick double take, sees you there, Gregor, and stops.
Oh, I say, aren't you Gregor Hartway?
Yes.
The the wayward hero of Renelin, wasn't it? I'm a big fan.
What about Renelin? What? No, that's not me. Unless you're a good guy.
You know what? You needn't pay it any mind. It's really no concern of mine. But you are a concern of mine, actually. If you don't mind, could we speak for a moment?
Okay, we've already started.
Yes, we're well on our way. Smiles. You see, I was just curious about, well, you're one of the heroes of the hour here, and I was wondering if you had any thoughts you wish to share.
Turns to a new blank page in his notebook, kind of licks his finger to get ready to write more.
I was wondering if you had any thoughts to share about your personal development over the course of your time here in Tannhauser.
Thoughts on my personal development? Do you mean as a person? Or as a guy who hits stuff? Or my muscles? Or...
Oh, well, all of those sound like they could be fascinating.
Stronger, all of them.
To be truthful, however, I am most interested in this, oh, pardon me, I have to consult
He flips back several pages of notes. Right, this, what you've termed, he gets like a bit of a sour, strained expression on his face for a moment. Your bread sense.
Gregor considers correcting him, but it wouldn't be much better. I should probably come up with a better name. I didn't notice how, yeah.
The metaphor was not invalid, if a bit, mundane, homespun, for the subject of severing and fundamentally rewriting pillars of causality. He sits down on this crater.
Wait a second. How do you know about that? That's in my brain.
Oh, yes, well, I've been conducting a series of interviews around Tannhauser these past few days, and I got a chance to speak with your associates, consults notes again, Inian and Kier recently, and so I have some context for what has occurred. Not all, mind you.
Yeah, they love talking about stuff.
Yes. It was quite. I do wish they had been moderately more truthful, but, you know, the lie can reveal just as much. It's all right. It's no concern of mine. So, Gregor, you have recently developed this new ability, and you've already put it to rather stunning use, have you not?
I have?
And, tell me, what would you say were the key principles that allowed you to develop this new ability? It's not entirely clear to me at what point you first manifested it, but I'm curious whether it happened as the result of any sort of group effort on part of you and your associates. Perhaps Marcus Fluffy or any others.
Well, I think it all started that one time I exploded.
He nods sagely.
And I kind of got a view of the reverse of everything. And then I just learned to, once I knew it was there, I could look at it. But I didn't realize that I could touch it too. And if you can touch something, you can stab something if you've got a glaive. And since I've got a glaive, I tried stabbing it. And, there you go.
And it worked a treat. I see. And, you have to date used this ability on which individuals? Perhaps, I believe, your companion, Mercedes, as well as the creature you have taken to calling, gets that same expression, Granola Guillotine.
Well, I didn't exactly use it on them. I think it would destroy them if I did that.
Right.
but I used it on whatever was connecting them to the heavens,
planes.
chaos,
They're oaths.
angels.
Yes.
I'm still not really clear on that, but I sure did cut it. Oh, and I did that to the first king, too. Do you know about the first king?
Only by reputation. He has, like, very high raised eyebrows when you add that. Didn't know that one. John Wright, scribble, scribble, scribble. Only by reputation, although I suppose it makes sense since he was likely at the epicenter of that gleaming eyesore.
Yeah,
Yes.
it only happened a few hours ago, so I can understand if you don't know about it yet.
Mhm. Word travels fast, but not instantaneously, much like light. Now, I am curious. Do you intend to continue to make use of this ability?
Yeah, probably. It's super useful, and who knows, maybe all the ASMR in the country might need it.
All the ASMR in the country?
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on with them, if suddenly they might start dying because an angel up there is still connected to them and sees that they're oath breakers on a technicality. They may need to get the same treatment that Mercy got.
I see. And, what if they were oath breakers on a technicality?
Well, then I'd just cut them off, so whatever's up there that wants to kill them couldn't do it.
Ah, I see. Well, I suppose I can see your point of view and why you would feel that way. Scribble, scribble, scribble.
Then we're in agreement.
He pauses for a moment, but smiles. Yes, it would seem so. we're at an understanding at any rate. And do you envisage any other potential uses for this ability outside of Tannhauser?
Oh, all sorts. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of faster than cutting something the normal way, if I can see it all right, though I do like cutting stuff the normal way, too. But, you know, if I ever see something really messed up that's, like, not belonging in this world all the way, and it's easy to rip out and tear off from reality, then I'll probably use it then. Or when something's really tough. Or, like, if a log were to fall and block the door to the bar, I think I could use it to get rid of that.
Log, right. And you do not perhaps have any concerns about potential side effects of, you know, cutting at the space between worlds that maintains the order of the planes?
Well, it really hurts. But that goes away, mostly.
Yes, that's the way of things.
Gregor looks down at his hands.
Yeah, no, you feel completely fine, Gregor. In fact, like, man, for using your bread brain in such a big way, you feel excellent.
Well, he stands up and kind of dusts himself off. I appreciate your candor, Gregor Hartway. Really. Gives you a little, like, friendly pat on the shoulder.
Thank you, Mr.
Venn, thank you. I
Mr.
should have
Venn.
introduced myself. My manners have really come apart at the seams since I entered this place. It's been a very stressful few days for me as well as for you, I'm sure. Is there anything I can do for you?
Do you happen to have, like, a very fast raven? Or a person on a very fast horse?
You need to send a message.
Yes.
I believe I could handle that for you. To whom?
Anyone outside of Tannhauser.
Anyone at all?
Anyone at all. Well,
Well,
hopefully
that's-
someone that will write back super quickly.
That should be simple enough. What is the message?
Written as follows.
Mhm.
Please respond to this letter. Thank you.
Respond to this letter. Thank you. All right. Yes, I think that should be a simple task indeed. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Gregor. Give my regards to your other associates. And you wouldn't happen to know where I could find flip. Harlock, do you?
She'll be by the big friend. Hard to miss.
The granola, yes. Hard to miss indeed. Well, snaps the book shut. Gives you a curt little bow. Have a good day. I hope there are some more restful times in your near future.
Bye. Guy in an alley.
Hey, Gregor, you start walking. Where are you headed? Back over to your friends?
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the meeting now.
Cool.
If I've got all the info I can.
Yeah, you've gotten all the info you pretty much can, and you notice something. Over the course of the conversation, your hand naturally wandered over to the crate, and it sort of lay to rest there, almost naturally. It's been a long day. You needed to take some of the weight off of yourself. In doing so, you've been keeping really careful eye on your usage of what you call bread brain. And in terms of, usually it attacks your nervous system extremely directly. So you can tell when you're suffering side effects. But as you look over to the crate, you blink a few times, and looking down at it, you see that the wood is distorted around where your finger touched. It almost seems like the crate is somewhat giving way. Without noticing it, you might have been cutting through this crate using your bare hands.
Oh.
That could just be my grip strength.
That could just be your grip strength, you know?
Jury's out on that one, so there's nothing to worry about.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing to worry about here. You straighten up and you head back towards the meeting hall down this long alleyway.